So you must be wondering what the word verbatim means. Basically, it's a word-for-word account from an original source. And the word theatre, as you all know, is the name of a place where performance is put on, or it can be used to explain the name for a group of people which work within the theatre profession. These two words perfectly sum up the new and innovative style of verbatim theatre.
In our presentation today, we will explore whether or not we think verbatim theatre is in fact a reliable form of information, and whether or not there is any danger of it not staying true to the people's tales. We'll build an argument for and against verbatim theatre and tell you our decisions at the end.
Verbatim theatre originated in Germany with epic theatre, developed by many practitioners such as Bertolt Brecht. Documentary theatre became the leading theatre technique to highlight local issues. Verbatim theatre was seen to be increasing in popularity. Focusing on making the audience critical on-stage action through the use of film and song, epic theatre led towards verbatim or documentary theatre, plays that use people's actual words. Verbatim theatre gave such an impact that it gave a distinct meaning of community.
Concerned with articulating and reinforcing regional identity, verbatim theatre as a form empowered communities for its retelling of stories unique to that community, stories of despair and survival.
Community, therefore, can be redefined to incorporate a community of interests. Shared, now, global community concerns extend beyond to celebrity culture and extend into global threats like terrorism, refugees, displacement, marginalisation, political spin and war.
Peter Weiss was one of the pioneers of the genre. His 1965 play, The Investigation, depicted the Frankfurt Auschwitz trials of 1963 to 1965.
Since then, many plays and television programmes have been written and performed, such as Hillsborough, the television programme recreating the 1989 human crush at the Hillsborough Football Stadium, and the play The Colour of Justice explored the Stephen Lawrence inquiry. 2004 saw a significant rise in verbatim plays in the UK, in which subjects from the privatisation of railways to the invasion of Iraq were explored. Written and Slovo's play Guantanamo, however, was one that reached audiences all over the world.
It is the cold, calm objectivity of this documentary drama that makes it so deeply disturbing and shocking. The Foreign Secretary Jack Straw puts in a lugubrious appearance, as does the humanitarian Donald Rumsfeld, like a horseman of the apocalypse in a tight suit. Men are being held in indefinite detention, without trials, without lawyers, without charges, without any contact with the outside world. The US Department of Defense has stated the Geneva Convention is quaint. What is happening here is quite simply the official criminalisation of justice. There are precedents in history for all of this. Hitler's Germany, Stalin's Russia, so now we know.
This shocking, often deeply moving production is in the same category as verbatim theatre, but with one crucial difference. There's been no found inquiry into Guantanamo Bay. Instead of listening to evidence and editing transcripts, Britain and Slavo have had to seek out their own witnesses.
So, Rachel Corrie, she's a 23-year-old American activist. She was killed in 2003 at the Palestinian territories by an Israeli bulldozer. Why is it you felt moved to tell her story?
It's the sheer power and quality of her writing, really, that to me seemed it would have been an injustice, another injustice, for her writing to just be printed in the pages of a newspaper. It was kind of crying out to be spoken.
When you take the literary remains of somebody and shape them into a piece, you're always going to be shaping them to some end, aren't you? I mean, how have you constructed the character of Rachel Corrie?
Every word in it is hers, and it's never been a polemic. And the only instruction I had from her parents, if it's an instruction or the wish, was whatever you do, don't put her on a pedestal, because she wasn't like that. And I think that's the point. You know, she is as brave as she is, she's naive. As hopeful as she is, she's disappointed. I think her youth is what everybody should relate to, and it certainly isn't meant to be any kind of piece of propaganda.
But resurrecting her in this way, I mean, enormous responsibility comes with an idea like that. You know, it could be said that the arguments that are raging around her posthumous reputation are pretty vicious, aren't they?
Certainly are. We're living in the middle of it. What's the point of theatre if it isn't to stir up that kind of debate? I mean, that's not the only point, but it's a point that's being lost in recent years.
Something very, very serious was going to take place in this country. Our political leaders had no idea. The police had no idea. But if you looked at young blacks and young whites with a discerning eye and a careful hearing, they have been telling us, and we would not listen, that what is happening in this country to them.
21st century, live the life of luxury, a paradise, parody. You can be anyone you want to be, but you can't be free. The kids don't play.
Hi, I'm Arthur Miller, an American playwright. I've written many verbatim theatre plays, such as The Crucible, which is based on the Salem witch trials. This play is loosely verbatim, however, as it's based on real events, but I've dramatised it to make an entertaining piece of theatre. I used the surviving records of this historical event to recreate what happened in real terms, as my characters end up being trialled in the same way as their real life counterparts.
I'm Robert Soames, an actor and playwright. I specialise in verbatim theatre, and I've done plays such as State Affairs, which is set in a Bradford estate, and Life After Scandal. I think the difference is that I look for more human stories and then portray them in a nice theatrical way.
Hello. I'm David Hare, a playwright and director. I've written many verbatim plays, such as Stuff Happens, which tells of England invading Iraq, and The Power of Yes, which tells of Northern Rock crashing and resulting in depression within our economy. Some of my plays are completely true. Others are 3/4 true and partly altered for dramatic purpose. And others are just simply loosely based around a real-life event or person.
I am Max Safford, a director of verbatim theatre who has worked with many writers such as David Hare. We work jointly and use the information we get from interviews to create a workshop and an exciting piece of theatre.
I'm Richard Norton Taylor, editor of The Guardian, journalist and playwright. I write plays using transcripts of public inquiries. One of my plays is The Colour of Justice, which is based on the Stephen Lawrence inquiry.
I'm Aleki Blythe, and I'm the founder of a theatre company called Recorded Delivery, which is a verbatim theatre company acclaimed for its groundbreaking production. I make verbatim theatre shows by recording real-life interviews and relaying the edited script to the cast through earphones during a live performance. The actors retain the original speeches, hesitations and sentences, which makes the play seem more real.
We are all in favour of using verbatim theatre as a creative way to inform the public of global events, so long as the people involved are respected and the story is told with the utmost accuracy. But what do you think? These two words perfectly sum up the innovative and new verbatim theatre style, which hit it big in the late 60s to early 70s.
Go.
These two words perfectly sum up the innovative and new style of verbatim theatre, which hit it big in the early 60s. These two words perfectly sum up the innovative and new style of verbatim theatre, which hit it big in the late 60s to early 70s. These two words perfectly sum up the innovative and new style of verbatim theatre, which hit it big in the late 60s to early 70s. The aim of this style is to inform the public of many global issues and potentially make a change in The aim of this style is to inform the public of many global issues in an authentic way and potentially make a change. The aim of this style is to inform the public of many global issues in an authentic way and potentially even make a change. Although verbatim theatre is enjoyed and supported by many people throughout the world, there is debate as to whether or not it actually is an authentic style. This is due to the fact that the actors are only interpreting the story, therefore the audience could potentially misinterpret the message.